Welcome to the Choose Hard podcast. I am your host, Cody McBroom. I am a father, husband, coach, and entrepreneur whose sole life mission is to serve others and help them create their best life possible, which the first step in you creating your best life is choosing hard. So let's build your body and sharpen your mind. Today's podcast is with a returning guest, Coach Kyle from the Tailored Coaching Method team. And today we go into segments. So this is a podcast that I was inspired by a few other podcasts who actually do segments like this, and I really enjoyed it. And it was a cool way for them to shout out sponsors and supporters of the podcast while also providing a lot of value in like a Q&A fashion. So we're going to dive into a few different topics. So one is going to be choose hard, and we're going to discuss what choose hard in our life currently is, as well as a paradigm shift that we've had recently. We're also going to dive into book recommendations. What is something that we saw or were taught growing up that we believe everybody should learn today because today's world needs that lesson too. Then we dive into the next segment, which is going to be training stuff, starting with the dumbest things we've ever done in the gym, which is embarrassing and hilarious for you to hear, trust me, and what we would do differently if we could go back and train our 20-year-old selves in the gym. And then the last topic we're going to do is an overrated and underrated topic, going through some different aspects like diet and training and influencers and social media and music, all kinds of different random stuff, kind of rapid fire style. So this is going to go through 4 different segments. I think you're going to enjoy each segment, and each one is quick, fiery, to the punch, and it provides a lot of value. So without any further ado, let's get into this segment's podcast with Coach Kyle from TCM.
The greatest things in life all start with a challenge.
You must accept that everything is hard before it gets easy.
Everything you want in life begins with a hard path.
This podcast is going to be cool. I'm going to be like totally transparent. I was trying to find a different word for segments because I stole segments from a different podcast. It was something I heard them do, and I was like, this is really dope. I've heard it a couple times. And I'll just give a shout out to the Coach 'em Up podcast. Really, really good podcast. A lot of similar guests. They do a lot more in the strength and conditioning world. I think they come from like the athletic strength conditioning world. So it's a lot of strength conditioning coaches for like NCAA team stuff, but they're coaches and they're just bros. Like it's a really good podcast, but they do segments on every single show. And I've seen that people do this for random interviews and stuff, but I wanted to come up with some for every single person I have on the show because it's a good way to, wrap up the show. You know, like I used to do it when I started doing this one, it was Boom Boom Performance podcast. Mm-hmm. And it was like, there was a few different questions. One of them being you have 3 people at a dinner. Actually, we should do that one because it'll be good. 3 people at a dinner table, dead or alive, who would they be? You know, and you get like a couple hours to eat a meal with somebody. What are you having to eat and who are you eating it with? Oh. And it was a good way to get somebody's personality, see what they're interested in stuff. So I wanted to create some more like that. The problem is that I created a lot. So we're going to do them all today. And that's what the podcast is going to be, is just these segments. And hopefully after the podcast, you know what, even if you're on Spotify, you can comment. YouTube, you can comment. Apple, you got to catch up. Put some comment section stuff in there. But if not, you can always DM me on Instagram or email me. I want to know from you, the listener, what did you like? Out of all those questions, we'll only have like 3 on the show repetitively. So what did you really enjoy? And then obviously you and I will talk about it after the podcast too. But let's start with the dinner table one, man. Fresh out the gates. Okay, so 3 people at a dinner table with you. Mm-hmm. Let's say it's the last meal you get. Maybe it's not the last meal. It's the only opportunity you're going to get for this though, because they could be dead or alive, famous people. It could be past relatives. It could be literally anybody, but only 3, and you get to choose whatever you want to eat for dinner.
Okay.
What do you got?
First person right out the gate, it's definitely going to be my grandpa. He passed 2 summers ago, the day after my birthday. And I was pretty close with him, but his passing was the first kind of moment where I felt like I was transitioning into, I don't know how to explain it, but more emotionally intelligent and realizing how fickle life is in general. Yeah. And it hit me hard. It took me months to get over his passing, as where early on in my 20s, like someone would pass, like my other grandpa had passed, and it was like, oh, okay, I'm pretty sad. But I was like, you know, it didn't really hit me the same.
Mm-hmm.
When, you know, my second grandpa had passed. That was just a whole nother ball game where I felt all the feelings, crying, talking to my my significant other, Grace, about all these things and just like life in general. I would definitely, he'd be my first pick. You know, he's 1-1, 100%. My grandpa would be there. The second and third are tough because I feel like there's so many people that you're like, it'd be great to have dinner and chat with them, but there's nobody who's like, oh my gosh, like, holy crap, I'm talking to so-and-so. And, you know, like I go back to baseball. I grew up playing baseball, like, you know, since I was a little kid, it was all I wanted to do. I guess, you know, in that sense, I'd probably, you know, it's actually, you know, Ichiro weekend here in, know, in Seattle. You know, if you're a big baseball fan, you know, Ichiro, I'm going to the game tonight. He's inducted to the Hall of Fame. I grew up going to the games wanting to watch Ichiro. Mm-hmm. I played nothing like him, but he was so cool. And he was a big deal. He's such a big deal. And I don't know. I feel like being able to sit down and have dinner with him, and like he's one of my like lifelong idols when it comes to baseball. I would definitely choose Ichiro. I know it's really because I'm not sure like how well he does with English. At least growing up, he never wanted to do interviews in English. Like he would a lot of times do them in Japanese. But we always got a kick out of the times where he did, you know, his interviews in English because he would say he'd want to have hot dogs. So I'd probably have a hot dog with Ichiro.
That's hilarious.
That'd be number 2, kind of random, but, you know, really, really cool. And then just in terms of, you know, bro to bro, Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yeah.
Dude, I cannot
There's not that many fitness guys that wouldn't say him.
Dude, I can't tell you how many times I've watched Pumping Iron. Yeah. Growing up, you throw that on, it's a classic. It's probably, you know, one of those things where it's like, duh, every bro wants to meet Arnold. But I had a roommate in the past who actually had moved to Venice, and he would go to Gold's, and he's like, dude, Arnold still shows up every day. He rides his bike there. He gets half a workout in because everyone's talking to him and, you know, that kind of stuff. Yeah. But he said he saw him, and I was like, I am so jealous. Yeah. He's such a cool dude. Like, I would love to be able to get a training session or a meal in with Arnold.
So you got hot dogs with your grandpa, Arnold Schwarzenegger, and Ichiro.
100%.
What a table.
Dude, absolutely. Seattle dogs, of course.
Yeah, 100%.
Got to.
So, and for those listening that aren't from Seattle, Seattle dogs, like the downtown area always has these carts, and they're always cooking hot dogs. And the way they're set up is just different. Like, and you got to put cream cheese on the dog to make it a true Seattle dog.
Got to have the onions. Yep.
So good. Okay, so I'm going with, you know, I think at one point way back, I think I said Joe Rogan, and I'm going to change that. Not that I wouldn't love to have a meal with him, but I'm going to say Chris Williamson because I feel like he is a more relatable version of Joe Rogan. Yeah. And the reason I always feel like I would choose one of the elite podcasters is because those guys get to be a sponge to so many great minds, you know? And I feel like because Chris Williamson, outside of him being British, he's younger, he came from the fitness space, it's more relatable. But I got to imagine he's just got, even some of his solo podcasts, you get to like just listen to him think and thoughts. Like, it's really cool because he just talks to so many experts in so many different worlds. Like, that's what I ultimately aspire this podcast to become, and why we talk about more than just fitness and interview people outside of the fitness space now. But I definitely say him because I feel like I'd be able to pull so much out of him. Second person would be, I don't want to choose Arnold. I think in the past I did Joe Rogan, The Rock, and Kevin Hart. I think that was my, if I'm remembering correctly. Yeah. Number 2 would be Chris Pratt. Truthfully, I haven't even seen Guardians of the Galaxy. Like, I don't watch a ton of his movies, but he is extremely successful. I really respect that he has stayed so like down to earth, humble, and like very like true to his values. He doesn't let anything in Hollywood's just got to be so crazy, you know. It's crazy enough in today's world, but Hollywood, I can't even imagine being a part of, you know. Yeah. But he doesn't let that deter him from living according to his values and beliefs. And he also is from Washington, so again, it's like he's from the same state but even smaller town. And he's hyper successful. So it'd be interesting to hear more about his story and journey and like becoming successful despite living in a tiny town. And I think he's from like the Cleellum area, bro. Like
he might be. I might have it wrong. Is he not married to Arnold Schwarzenegger's daughter?
Yeah, 100%.
We could just have dinner together.
Yeah.
We can
They
eat hot dogs
live.
for dinner.
They live in the San Juans. They have a big farm with like llamas and shit, I think.
Yeah.
Or maybe it's lambs. I don't know. One of the two.
Yeah.
But crazy, yeah. Like, so wild. So I would say Chris Pratt, Chris Williamson, and
one more Chris to equal the trifecta.
oh my gosh, I didn't even realize that. Throw Chris Rock in there just for the humor. No, I'm not even a huge. I would go Dave Chappelle over Chris Rock any day. Yeah, maybe I would do that. Dave Chappelle, actually.
That'd be great.
One funny one, and also a very smart guy.
Yeah.
And the fact that he left the country way back and nobody knew like what happened to him, and then he just appears in Times Square doing comedy out of nowhere.
I remember
just
that.
like walking up in public, and people are like, "Holy shit, that's Dave Chappelle. He's been gone for 7 years or whatever it was." Like,
Yep.
And now he's still back to being the #1 comedian in the world. Like all the other comedians just know he's the GOAT.
Yeah.
So crazy.
That would be iconic.
That would be a great meal. Oh, what we would have.
Oh,
though.
yeah. What would you guys eat? That's a tough one.
Honestly, I would say burgers.
Yeah.
Burgers and fries. I mean, that's like my go-to if I have to have like a good meal.
Do you have a go-to burger?
Yeah,
From
not a spot, but bacon and blue.
Oh,
Bacon and blue cheese, man. Still put ketchup on it though, for sure. Love.
okay.
I love blue cheese, man. That is like not a good diet food. I go ham on blue cheese though, with crackers, with burgers, with salads, the crumbles and the dressing. Like,
Okay.
yeah,
I'm like blue cheese. I'm 50-50 more
It's
on like the
strong.
burger.
Yeah.
I'm great on a burger. Everything else, I'm like, yeah,
it's
you know.
strong. You gotta like it. You
yeah,
know?
exactly.
And I got to be careful when I'm choosing it, because if you get like real good blue cheese, sometimes like the mold, I can't do it. It's
Ooh.
so moldy that you're like, I can't eat it.
Yeah, it throws me off.
It's probably good. It's really expensive, but like it's really moldy. Like it's disgusting. If it's really blue mold, it's okay because it almost looks like fake. Like it's not because some of them have a greenish mold, which is totally fine, but I can't do it. If I see green, I'm like, nope.
No, it'll throw me off. For sure.
Yeah, dude, it'll be like $26 a pound sometimes at Fred Meyer.
Yeah.
Dude, they have like a nice cheese section now. Like literally the
Okay.
craziest, bougie cheese.
Not my childhood Fred Meyer, that's for sure.
Yeah, no, it's totally different. Okay, so this next actual segment is sponsored by Jocko Fuel. I am drinking the Nitro Pop. I already had a hydrate and a greens drink this morning. I gotta say, dude, the coconut pineapple. Have you had that one yet?
No,
energy
I have
drink?
not had that one. I've had the iced tea lemonade and the Nitro Pop, but I have not.
The iced tea lemonade is really good too.
Yeah.
I don't like coconut or pineapple. Like I don't even eat real pineapple.
Yeah.
But that flavor, so good. But use the code Choose Hard, all one word. They increased the discount for me and my listeners, 20%. So 20% off anything. They do a lot of different like holiday sales and stuff too. So if there's any holiday as this airs or anything, like even random holidays, double down on the discounts. Choose Hard, jockofuel.com. All right. So there's 2 questions to this. And because I have 2 questions per segment and there is 4 segments, we'll do these kind of rapid fire style.
Yeah.
The first question, you'll go and then I'll go. What's your current Choose Hard battle is the first question.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Current Choose Hard battle. Right now I'm in this awkward phase and transition phase of training and nutrition where I'm prepping to move across the country.
Yeah.
I'm going to be moving to Florida from Seattle. It's going to be a long trip.
Are you going to
big trip.
Daytona? Was it?
Yep, Daytona. Okay. Yep, Daytona Beach. And so right now I'm in this phase of I'm getting ready to do almost like a mini cut. I want to be very much prepared for the awkwardness of being on the road for a long period of time. Is it doable and am I going to do it? Yes, absolutely. But I don't want to have to feel like I'm in my cut while I am traveling. I want to feel like it's more of I'm maintenance. You never know what kind of food you have available to you in each state. There's going to be grocery stores, but also you could be on some random stretch of road that takes you forever and, all that kind of stuff. So choosing hard for me is more of the plan of like, I'm essentially going to be an 8-week cut, trying to drop about 10 pounds. That's just, 10 pounds right on it. And I was like trying to think, maybe more, but let's be realistic. I'm going to go 10, keep it simple. And then training wise, it's actually prepping more for, the community, right? And thinking more in terms of the, almost like combine style training. I'm transitioning into that. Had a little bit of a back tweak a couple weeks ago, just recovering from that and being sick. So now it's like transitioning into, all right, Coach Nick is working on, combine stuff, being in the community. The guys are going to be prepping for that. So a lot of it is more of power and reactive work, and also mobility for specifically my ankles, my hips, and making sure that, I'm ready to go when it comes to doing that kind of stuff. And it's just fun. Honestly, I grew up training that way for sports. Yeah. And implementing more jumps, more power tosses, rotational work.
Training like an athlete.
Dude,
man.
it's fun.
Yeah.
It's really fun. I love training like a bodybuilder too. Don't get me wrong. Like getting a good pump is awesome. But just having small amounts of, that power and reactive stuff, I'm throwing that in there too.
Yeah, 100%. Obviously, I'm training the same way. I'm excited about it. And for any guys listening, Tailored Coaching Combine is what he's referring to. As we're recording this, the exact testing hasn't been announced, so I'm not going to say what it is, but me and Nick have been going back and forth. We think we have it pretty much down. There will be basically a test for power, strength, muscular endurance, and then like literal aerobic work, right? Yeah. A mile run, something like that. So if you're interested in that, tailored-coaching.com/community, you can sign up there. It's our group coaching community, and it's really badass. Yeah. It's really good. I uploaded like at least 10 hours of content. I saw you 20 hours, that. I think. I was like so many of our courses from like previous that we've just had in the archive. But that's good, man. Man, my choose hard battle right now was the training side because of my back. Yeah. But I'm just like enjoying it a lot right now, especially now that I'm filming the vlog. It's just fun, shooting that. He had this clip of me doing this superset. It's walking lunges into Spanish squats with heels elevated. It was just brutal, but the drone like swoops in as I pick up the dumbbells and start walking, and it follows me across the whole gym doing lunges. Dude, it's so sick. It looked so dope. But right now, I don't even think it is the training and the diet side. I'm actually getting ready I'm tightening the reins a little bit. I just started tracking again just to see where my numbers are at, and I pulled some calories because I'm doing the same thing. I want to shave a bit. Yeah. A little bit less weight so I can crush that's the thing. Test. Yeah.
I'm trying to make sure I'm ready for that.
But I'm excited for that. Like, because I just got through that injury and I felt like I wasn't doing anything. It's like motivating me right now. And I like having I was itching for some kind of competition-ish thing. Totally. Dude, right now my choose hard battle is like, to be totally transparent, it's the state of Washington. I'm trying really hard to be positive and be like a light in a dark place, but it's just, there's just a lot of really fucked up stuff going on. And it's really hard when you have a kid and you have to like try to protect them. Yeah. There was the largest tax increase in Washington state history across the board. You're getting out at a good time. Yeah. So between like property taxes and gas and retail and all that stuff, and then the business taxes and the property tax to pay here and all that, and then the school stuff, and then there was this event held at my daughter's elementary school that is just not appropriate for like school's out of session, but it was like, I'm not going to get into that side of things, but it wasn't appropriate for kids. And now it's making way into the news. And like, so it's like, that's the last thing I want my daughter's elementary school to be shouted out for is, and so like, I've wanted to move, but it's not that simple. And my wife has family here. So I'm in that battle, man. My choose hard thing is like not letting the negative take over. Cause it's hard to see when like I can pay less if I live here. I can not deal with this if I live there. The crime rate goes down if I live there. Like there's a lot of things here that are just, so I'm like trying to be really, really positive. Who knows? We might move, but it's not going to happen for a while. I mean, I got 2 years at least here. So we're here for a bit, but it's like trying to stay positive every day because I don't want to be that negative.
That's the hard part, right? It's being able to control what we can control and then how we respond to it. And a lot of times that sucks because you're like, dude, I have to just accept whatever is happening around and only change what I can change. I wish I could just change it all right now and just like grip it and kind of go, but we can't do that, unfortunately.
Yeah. Well, and like my advice to people listening, if you're dealing with anything similar, it's like, one, it's not easy, and I'm not perfect. So there's plenty of moments where I'm like, just not happy, let's say.
Same.
But there's people watching, you know, especially if you're a parent, and if you're not a parent, but you have a spouse, like if you can't do it for yourself, do it for them.
Mm-hmm.
And usually when you kind of fake it till you make it, it actually, you actually do end up happier. Like if I start like wrestling with the dog and like playing and being silly, like I can't stay angry, you know, It's like impossible. So it's like, sometimes you just gotta do it. But that is definitely my choose hard battle. Now the second question for the choose hard Jocko Fuel segment is, what's a paradigm shift that you've made recently or you've had recently? It can be in any category.
Okay. Along that same line, you know, preparing for the move, I've taken on, you know, more work, not just, you know, for Tailored, but like my parents, they own like a janitorial business, a cleaning business, taking on more hours. And you do that and you're like, okay, you know, it's hard prepping for the move, making a little extra money, because I'm always overly worried about that kind of stuff. Yeah. It's just how it goes. But changing my mindset, like the first few months, I get done and it was just nonstop complaining. I'd come home to Grace and I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm so tired. It's just windows and garbages and this and that. And she's, you know, very loving and caring. Oh, well, you know, you just take it down, you know, an extra day. Only do 2 days. Don't do 3 days and all these things. And I'm sitting here listening and I'm like, no. Wait. This is a me problem. This is my perspective problem. I have the opportunity. How many people don't have the opportunity to work?
Yeah.
To not even just like have an extra job to go and make money to prep for something, but literally don't have a job in general. Mm-hmm. That seems so scary. And it immediately kind of flips me out. And I'm like, okay, no. I'm good. I'm tired.
Yeah.
You should be tired. My head hits the pillow. I am out cold. So that paradigm shift of like sitting there going, sometimes that extra work, the stuff that really makes it challenging, difficult, fatigue, I'm just so out of it, is the exact thing that I need in that moment. Because if everything's easy, when the real hard stuff hits, when the move hits, I won't be prepared at all.
Yeah.
And even the hard stuff I'm doing now, I'm like, there's going to be harder stuff. Like I need to constantly have that in my life. Otherwise, when it gets really, really tough, I'm just going to get beat down.
Yeah.
So just accepting the choose hard of that aspect, and not having to like it every moment, but being okay with that, and then just like recognizing the moments where I can, you know, refuel or just kind of recover a little bit better, get off my phone, take a nap, you know, just like the small stuff. So
you know what that paradigm shift is to me? It's recognizing that everything's temporary. You know, and it's like, I mean, if you want to get really deep, life's temporary. So like, you
100%,
like be good. But it's that hard thing you're going through is not going to last. Yeah. Quote Lord of the Rings, this shall pass. This too shall pass. And like,
that's definitely not it. But
Gandalf said it best. But like, really though, it's so true, because everything that is difficult, that is tough, it is always temporary. You know what I mean? But most of them are repetitive. And if you don't reflect and learn the lesson and shift, it's going to be hard every time. You know what I mean? But if you let it be hard once and you learn, then it's easy next time. Or it doesn't happen because you do what you need to do to get through the thing. It depends on what it is, obviously. But yeah, I think that's really good, man.
Yeah, it feels like we pass that same message on to clients like every single day. Like there's always, you know, macros this and getting your steps and training and all this kind of stuff. But the underlying message is always like, if it feels hard, dig in just a little deeper, just a little bit. Because that feeling itself and the almost the lesson that you learn from that is so much greater than whether or not you hit your perfect macros on one day. It's not going to make a big difference in your life compared to that lesson that you learned of, I'm a little hungry, right? Okay, I really want this fast food on the way home, but I know I have my meal prepped. Yeah. Like, you know, there's going to be a million things, but that hard it's a lesson we pass on every day.
Yeah. Man, for me, it's tough. I think I've gone through, and like not to toot my own horn, but this is a good thing. I've gone through a lot of paradigm shifts over the last year. And I think why that's a good thing is because it means I'm open-minded to change and to adapting and evolving. And I think a lot of people aren't. When you're afraid to innovate or adapt or evolve, that's a problem. You're going to stay stuck. You know, you really do need to be able to level up in that way. But But man, I could say even like there was a period of time where I was like, group coaching doesn't work.
Mm-hmm.
But like, I think everything is this way. Like how I knew it to be didn't work because I hadn't seen it done right.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we created a way to do it right. And now it's like, oh, that works. And I mean like group online coaching for people listening. Group classes do work depending on the person, but that's the case. Like it depends on who you are, because we still have people that I'm like, hey, the group model's not good for you. Mm-hmm. You need one-on-one, because it depends on where you're at. So that was one thing that I just completely shifted on. I would say like this has been an ongoing back and forth paradigm shift and this is for business owners, especially like in the coaching space. Social media is not the answer to like business growth and generating leads. It's just not. Like, I think that it's kind of a paradigm shift, because I've had so many moments where like social media is gaining steam and then it goes away and then it comes back. And so like you get sucked into it and you're like, okay, we're going to ride this wave. But then like when I really kind of zoom out and I go, everyone we help, and the reason our company keeps growing, it has nothing really to do with social media. It has everything to do with great results, great service. I mean, if we're going to contribute anything to content, it's SEO. Mm-hmm. And I'm not going to get into that because it's a rabbit hole. But like, it's not social media. It's long form content, you know? One very specific paradigm shift for me, it's kind of a weird one to say, but like if we're just thinking paradigm shift is like, I didn't believe this or didn't know this, and now I do. Dude, I love filming the vlog. Yeah. It's so weird. I was like, this shit is whack. Like, I'm not carrying a camera. I think it's whack. That thing makes it easier. The little handheld Osmo. And it's so high quality, and it has a mic. I don't have to mic up. So it did make things a lot easier, but it's crazy, man. Even on the hard days, because like episode 2 of vlog, I talk about a few things too. I mean, I did in episode 1 as well, because you see the way I'm doing it, it's like a whole week. Yeah. So it's like, it's not just like a day in my life. It's like I'm picking up the camera on a Monday and I might be talking for more. And then Tuesday I just say 2 sentences and then I don't talk till Friday. It's like, I'm just picking it up and it's a full week. And when I'm talking about the hard stuff, I feel better about getting through the hard stuff, because, and this sounds weird, it doesn't matter if people see it or not, but there's so many hard things in life and in business that goes unseen. And I've never felt like I need people to see it, but it is giving those moments a second level purpose, because I'm hoping that people watch it and it helps them get through the hard moments. Yeah. And so like, I feel better about going through it. And then also when I'm talking about the good stuff, dude, the level of gratitude I've had lately for what we do and the people we help is just insane, because I'm talking about stuff on the mic and then I'm like, man, I feel good. And it just makes you stop and go, holy shit, actually what we do is pretty crazy. My life's not normal. And people, like I was talking about in the meeting, like clients telling their family about us. And then you meet them and you're like, holy shit, you talk to your closest people about me, your coach. And it's like a different level of appreciation that you forget sometimes, you know, especially in the online space. Oh yeah. So I think paradigm shift was just, I mean, mainly just the YouTube thing. I'm loving the YouTube. I've already got I have like a little bit left to film for the 3rd episode, but I've already got almost 3 full episodes done. Wow, you're motoring. Yeah, I'm motoring through, bro. The first vlog's already out. It just aired as we're recording this. Second one will come out next week. It'll just be every Friday. Sweet. So I'm pumped. But that was definitely one, because I've said before, like, I'm never going to do that. It's very normal now, though. Did I see people in my neighborhood, like little girls, like putting their phone up on their parents' bumper and they're doing like these dance moves, and I'll like look and they look at me and they just keep doing their thing. They don't care. And I'm like, man, when I was your age, I would be mortified if somebody saw me doing that. You know, not that what they were doing is like embarrassing necessarily, but like today's world is just different. Completely different. That is super normal. Yeah. And kudos to them for like, that means like your level of getting embarrassed has like dropped significantly. It's like, good for you. It's normal. Yeah. I'd be very embarrassed. Yeah, I still feel awkward. Me too. I tried to like sneak a picture of me walking the track last night and I'm like looking around like, you know, taking before anybody knows it. Taking selfies. I'm like, oh, okay, me and Grace here, take a selfie. And I'm like, looking around. Okay. It's so weird. All right. This segment is, this is going to be a good one. Sponsored by the TLRD shop, site. So, head over to tlrd.shop, tlrd.shop. Use code CHOOSEHARD and you can save 20% on anything we got in there. Shirts, shorts, socks, hats, journals. The hats are buy one, get one half off as well. So go check that out. as this airs, we might actually have a couple new drops in there. I'm wearing one of them. This is the new Tailored Training Club shirt. So go check that out, tlrd.shop. Choose hard, one word, save you 20%. The first one, what does everyone listening need to read? What book does everyone listening need to read? If you just had to, like, the first one that comes to your mind.
Oh, okay. It's the first one that came to my mind, and I don't want to choose it, but I kind of am going to, because I feel like it got so popular so fast. Atomic Habits.
Oh, it's so good though, dude.
It is really good, and I hate it.
I have a reel posting tomorrow about Atomic Habits.
Okay.
It's so good.
So the fight that I'm having with it is that it got picked up by every single business in the world. Mm-hmm. It seemed like it, and it felt like bosses were pushing it on people who. It was more of a make money now, read this book, make money for my business, as opposed to I want you to grow as a person.
Yeah.
Right. And that's what the book shows, a great amount of like helpful tips to be able to, it doesn't matter whether it's with your health and fitness, whether it's with just productivity, if you want to make more money, if you want to do all these things, it's just helpful things to remove obstacles that are in your path right now.
Yeah. Well, and if you learn how he stacks habits and does, like the system of habits that James Clear uses, you can apply that to anything.
That's what it's about.
So helpful.
So that's the one that I would definitely choose.
That's such an important book for people to read.
And I mean, it's the secondary one. If I had to, I'm going to do an extra one. Is like the obstacle is the way. I believe Ryan Holiday.
That's a good one.
Oh, I will reread that book every time we go on any sort of plane ride, vacation. I'm bringing that book 10 times out of 10. Because all of those little paragraph tidbits, I get absolutely pumped up reading that book. I love that book.
It's so good, bro. That whole series is actually really good by Ryan Holiday. Mm-hmm. I'm trying to find the book that I can't remember what it's called. Not Caring. It's not The Subtle Art of Not Giving a F. Not caring.
Honorable mention for the fiction is going to be Project Hail Mary, Andy Weir. I mentioned this in the last podcast. It hasn't been aired, but it will be. Just a solid listen or solid read if you're not really looking for more personal development. But
did you start Wayward Pines yet?
No, I'm still working my way through Game of Thrones.
Oh, that's right.
That's a long one.
Yeah,
Game of Thrones, it's going to take me a little bit of time to get through Game of Thrones.
You're going to be in there for a minute.
I will be. But, I mean, at this point in time, like, it's really cool. I've already, I'd watched all of the series beforehand, and now, reading/listening to it, picking up on so many small things. I love it. It's great.
Oh, here he goes. I'm like, I can't not pick this book now, and I'm like, what is that guy's name? Dr. Michael Gervais. I'm like just thinking of like, okay, what's a book that, I mean, I could think of a lot of books. I love both the books that you said. But the book that I think people need to read, for the most people like listening, I'm just thinking like, what is the most helpful book? Mm-hmm. The First Rule of Mastery. Stop worrying about what people think of you by Dr. Michael Gervais. It's a blue book with like a yellow tear in the middle of it with the stop worrying about what people think about you. He's actually one of like the mindset mental coaches for the Seahawks and stuff. I don't know if it's the Seahawks anymore. I think he moved on to different players and stuff like that, but he's worked with Olympic athletes, NFL athletes, CEOs, like a bunch of people. He has a good podcast too. But the book is, I mean, it breaks down a lot of research as to how people just don't actually remember. Like this is a perfect example. What was the last post you saw on Instagram?
There's zero chance I can tell you.
What was the last post you saw from Chris Bumstead, Chris Williamson, Joe Rogan, me?
Literally.
Nobody remembers. Yeah. You don't remember. I don't remember what the last thing I posted was. I do, but like I barely do. Right. I had to think about it for a sec. The point is that nobody gives a shit. Like it's we post and then it's like, oh fuck, I wonder if people think I'm stupid and stuff. It's like they already forgot. Mm-hmm. They scrolled by it, and if they didn't like it, they didn't even notice it. If they did like it, they liked it, and that's great. But then they forgot. Mm-hmm. It's very, very difficult to do something to an extent that actually imprints on somebody's brain. The only way you're going to do that is through consistent impact, which is like coaching and stuff. It's like we talk every week, multiple times a week for weeks on end, and then it sticks. You know, you're like, and part of that is sad because you have to do a lot in life to be remembered after you die. It's very unfortunate. And you can, and this is another way to really paint the picture of what I'm talking about. There has been numerous celebrities, the Queen of England, different people that have passed away. And if you're listening to this, unless that was your aunt, you moved on and forgot about it until I just mentioned it. Completely forgot, which is sad, but it's true. And so it's like there's only a small group of people who are really going to remember you after you die, which sucks. I want to work my ass off to get more people to remember me, obviously, but I'm more focused on what my daughter remembers more than anything. And usually what that means is if I impact as many people as I can, she's going to remember that I impacted so many people, right? And I was with her a lot. But the point is that people just don't remember. And they do these studies in there that are so fascinating. Like they make somebody, they did with multiple people, they'll walk into like a very busy, crazy, crowded place wearing a shirt that they deemed as embarrassing, like you don't want to wear. And then they survey people to see who noticed somebody walk in with an odd shirt or what was on that person's shirt. And the amount of people who actually knew was like 1%, if that. Like it was so low. And the person wearing the shirt guessed that like 75% of the people noticed and were looking at them. But it's like there's so many mind games we play in our heads. It's wild. And that book was so helpful for me because I just was reading it and I was like, I already felt pretty good about the stuff. Like I didn't pay too much attention to it, but now I really just don't care. Like this is like exactly what I needed to just be authentically myself. And it helped me do that a lot inside of my content, inside my coaching, and the feedback I've gotten without people knowing that I was intentionally trying to be more of myself and not like try to filter or try to, I don't know, put like a mask on, you know, and just try to be not like change who I am completely, but you know, put on a little bit of something because I know certain people are watching here, certain people are watching here. Yeah. It's a lot easier to not do that. Great feedback, you know. Yeah. But that book's a game changer.
I'm definitely gonna have to read that.
Yeah, you should. I've used it with clients a lot, like quoting that book to help them through stuff. Yeah. Especially like with people who have judgmental families and they're trying to diet, but their family tries to bring them down because their family is overweight and they're insecure. And so they try to poke fun at them and bring them down. And then it's hard for them to consistently stay on point because their family is poking fun and stuff. And I've had clients who would go to like, you know, family reunions and stuff like that. And this book helped me guide them through that a little bit because I could show them different reasons in here, and it really just helped them stick to it because some of it is about people don't notice, don't remember, and that means if you don't have, you know, your cousin Sue's fatty coleslaw whatever dish at the barbecue, like she's not going to remember. It doesn't matter. But also it layers in a lot about how important it is to just do things for you, you know, and make sure that you're happy, and it's a phenomenal book. I wasn't planning on talking about it that long. So much for rapid fire, but that is a must read. Okay. The second question on this one, and this will be good. This is like a quick lesson for life. What's something you saw or were taught while growing up that helped shape your success today, which you feel today's world has lost touch of and needs a reminder?
Okay. I fought with this one growing up a lot because my dad is an extremely hard worker. I mean, we talked about, you know, him having a janitorial business and everything. Most of the time, the hours for that is while everyone else is sleeping or they're not, you know, so he would leave, you know, the house at 8 p.m. He wouldn't get back till usually 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, sleep a little bit, and then go do daytime work. This man literally would run off maybe 4 hours of sleep, 5 hours of sleep. He would make it to my baseball games, but there'd be plenty of times where he couldn't. He's working, he's doing all these different things. And when I was younger, I'd be like kind of resentful, to be honest. You know, I'm like, oh, you know, he's always working, you know, that kind of thing. And he would have me come work with him in the summer times when baseball was done. So I'm sitting there just grinding through the night as a 14, 15-year-old, just like, can we please be done? Yeah. You know, so those lessons like that kind of stuff, when I got older, now I'm looking back and I'm like, there are so many things where if it just takes a little bit of elbow grease, a little bit of hard work, I have zero issues doing that because I've seen him do it for so long and provide for our family in such an amazing way and learn from those lessons. Like I can put my nose down, I can grind as hard as I need to because I've seen him do it and I've done it, right? And then I've also learned that lesson of what do I not want to do? I'm going to be there. When I have kids, I'm going to be at every single game. Yeah. I am going to be asking them constant questions. I want to learn more about them. I want to do these things. And he's a great dad, but it's a different time, right? It is a completely different time. And I love him for exactly what he's done for us, for my life, for all of our lives, and, my siblings and my mom and everybody. But it just feels like there's that software update that I'm like, okay, you get that additional emotional intelligence. You get that like a little bit of like, I can do both. And I'm not going to rely on work to have it be my entire personality. Yeah. But I can lean on it when I need to. In short spurts, just like a fat loss phase, I can lean on it for very short spurts and absolutely grind. And I have that ability to go deeper for sure.
I hope this podcast, I always like joke and say like, it's a culture of hard workers. It's like, I hope this instills that in people, because I do think that is it's a lost lesson in today's world, like just working hard, You know what I will say about that too is, because I experienced that as well, just like my dad working a lot and being gone a lot. That generation, it was excused. And this isn't me like bitching and complaining. I understand. But like that generation, nobody was like, I don't know, like nobody pointed at people who worked, they provided for their family. Yeah, they worked hard. They missed a lot of things, but he was providing for his family. Like that's acceptable. Right. Today's world, if you do that, you're like a bad dad. You are somebody who is neglecting their family. It's pretty crazy if you think about it. And so it's like, and don't get me wrong, like I don't, like Shannon will say all the time, she's like, oh, are you coming to cheer tonight? And I'm like, yeah, I'm going to be there. She's like, well, it's 2 hours and we just sit, like we can't even go into you don't have to. I'm like, no, I'm going to be there. Yeah. Because I want Blake to know I'm there. Like 3 out of the 4 nights in a row, I want to make sure I'm there. And I think it just, what I'm getting at is there's a higher, it's not a burden because it really is a blessing, but it's a higher level of responsibility for dads in today's world, because you are expected to provide and work your ass off. And there's a lot of people, unfortunately, who just want handouts and they don't know how to work hard. But you are responsible of providing for your family. Even if you're not the only one working like a traditional family, that's fine. But you still have to work and provide. But you also need to be home, and you also got to be present, and you also have to attend these. Like, it's a big responsibility, And I'm all about like I want to do all that. Yeah. So I'm gonna work my ass off to do it. But it is, because you get called out if you're not that dad in today's world. I see it online, all the time. Like you just see it, but it's kind of crazy. Because like you said, you're like, I totally get it. He was working.
Yeah. I mean, I understand it. Yeah. I just would choose something different.
Yeah.
It's fine.
And today it's expected, Yeah. 100%. It is pretty crazy. But no, I love that. I think that's a really good one. Man, mine would be pretty similar, I think. Just like I think the lesson that people need to learn is probably that. It's just the hard work aspect. I think for me specifically, it would be because my parents split up when I was pretty young, and my mom was never really well off, and then my dad would go in spurts. Like he worked for many different companies, so I just watched a lot of fluctuation. Yeah. And it would be mattress on the floor in the apartment, and then going to my dad's, and like I had a nicer room and stuff, and then but then job switch, this happened, and it was just like this weird. So I actually just never got attached to money. Like there was never a point, like even when I got into out of high school and I wanted to do, it was always like, if you want stuff while you get a job, like that's how you got, there was never any like handouts or really help. My dad did pay for community college for me. But that was it. And it was like the day I remember I lived with him, and it was shortly after I turned 18. I had been saving up money from working at Rite Aid, and I was working at the community center, and I wanted to go buy a new car. And I showed him the picture of the car I wanted to buy. I was like, it's a used car. It was an Infiniti G35 coupe. It was dope. And I was like, I want to get this. And he was like, he laughed. He was like, how are you going to pay for that? And I was like, I've been saving, and I had cash. And he was like, so you're going to make payments? I was like, no, I have cash. He's like, can you afford that? And I'm like, yeah. And I remember the next day, we went and got it. I was like, I want you to come with me because he's a car guy. I was like, I don't know shit. I need you to look under the hood. Make sure it's okay. Got the car. And then the next morning I woke up and there was just all these receipts and bills on the table because I still live with him. And he was like, this is how much food you eat. Here's your car, your gas bill. Here's your phone. Here's your insurance. And it was that moment he was like, since you can afford that infinity, you can afford to play all this. I think I moved out like a month later because I was like, all right, well, at this point, what am I doing? I milked it as long as I could. But like stuff like that, just not getting the handouts, I think it just helps so much.
It's a big lesson to learn.
It is.
The earlier you learn it, the better. You have more time to adjust.
Mm-hmm. That's a hard one to teach your kids, man. When, like, I'm not this crazy baller, but I'm not broke, and I like to spoil my daughter, but we have to be careful with it because I'm like, man, the things that taught me the most growing up was not getting things given to me too often and not having a perfect situation and getting into trouble and then learning the hard way. You don't do that, like certain things. And it's like, and being around the wrong people and then making a decision for myself. And it's like, but then you have a kid and you're like, don't go anywhere. I'm protecting you.
Talked about control. You're like, I'm going to control everything, but then you can't.
Dude, it's so hard because you got to be able to like, okay, go off and learn. But then also I'm going to shelter you. It's like, how do I do this? All right. Next segment. This one's sponsored by the Tailored Trainer app. Yes, these segment podcasts, you're going to get a little mini ad in every single one. So deal with it. It's my podcast. I got to shout out our stuff. Sponsored by the Tailored Trainer app. Go download the app and you can try any of my programs for free for at least 3 weeks. Literally don't pay a dime. Go to thetailoredtrainer.com. So there's an ad for something you don't have to buy. Literally. Go check it out. This is a funny one. What's the dumbest thing you've ever done in the gym?
Oh, I know exactly. Okay. Okay. This is when I was immediately. I was at Bellevue Community College playing baseball. So we're lifting. This is after practice. And this is a classic mistake that eventually once you like are able to lift enough weight, you either have seen it or you experience it, which was loading the plates improperly. I had
all on one side first?
Right. So I actually had already loaded them up fine. I got done doing squats and I was taking off. It was either 315 or something like that on the bar. And I started taking off one plate and then I take off 2 plates. Next thing you know, all of a sudden the bar completely flies off the rack and falls on the ground. Thank goodness no one was like right next to me. It could have been absolutely awful, but obviously it makes this huge crash. I'm so embarrassed. I'm like looking around and the soccer players who were lifting also were just cracking up, laughing at me, nonstop. And I'm sitting there just red faced. And I just remember thinking back at the time, I was just so embarrassed, but now thinking, I'm like, I'm just so thankful that no one was nearby and actually got injured because that could have easily just hit somebody and be like, you're going to the hospital immediately.
No shit.
That's the first thing. That's like immediately. I know that's the number one thing that I regret.
Man, I'm going back and forth between 2. You know what's funny is I don't do dumb shit when people are around. Because when people are around, I think maybe once back in the day when I didn't know better, but now like ever since I became like a trainer, I've just been so cautious about my form because if somebody's watching, I don't want to look like the trainer who's supposed to know what he's doing, not knowing what he's doing.
Right.
So both of mine happened when nobody's around. I mean, I did something dumb by accident. I dropped the trap bar and broke my foot. Like that was stupid. It landed right on top of my foot and just snapped the bone.
Yeah.
Everybody was around. I was carrying it for a client. It was stupid. And I trained people in a boot. That was embarrassing for like 8 weeks straight. But the 2 that come to mind were gym fails. One of them, it was a box jump, and it was set up in front of the window. Thank God nobody was walking by at the plaza that the first Vigor ground was at. I set the boxes up, and I stacked all 3, and it was like a PR, and I did it, and I was like, oh, shit. So I went and got my phone, set up the camera on the desk and everything, and I ate shit so bad. I, like, came up on, and it was those old school ones that didn't, like, you could, like, it was hollow. Like, you could stack them on top of each other, and they would all fit.
Yep.
So my leg went underneath it and I kicked it and then I smashed my shin and then like fell on my chest, but then the boxes felt like it was the worst crash. And then I had to look over at the camera and get up and walk over to it and turn it off. I wish I saved it. It was so dumb.
Oh no.
The time where the band snapped here and it snapped me in the butt. I think I've showed you that one.
Yeah.
Nobody was here. I got it on the Ring camera. That one I still have. It's hilarious. I had a bruise across my butt. And that wasn't even the one that I was thinking of. Was another really bad one though.
Yeah.
I was doing the Smith machine here when we had the Smith machine incline press. I had like 225 on it, and I just was not. Again, when you're by yourself, you're just kind of going through the motions. And I thought I racked it, and I didn't. And I just at the top of my last rep, I just let go because I thought I turned the hook.
Yeah.
And it just slid down and just boom, just bounced off my chest, bro. It was during contest prep last time. Dude, it hurt so bad. And then I was like kind of breathing heavy and I was like, holy shit, did I crack my sternum?
Yeah.
Like, thank God I didn't. I mean, that's honestly, and this is not me, like I have a big chest, but when you do have muscle, like it's like if I didn't have any muscle, like, dude, I don't know what that would have done to me. Because it was bruised, but I didn't crush my sternum. But 225 on the Smith machine just sliding down on me.
Crack something.
Dude, it was so bad. I definitely, like, I remember standing up and, like, opening my chest and my sternum did crack. Like you crack your knuckles kind of thing.
Yeah.
But, oh, dude.
That's brutal.
That was brutal. Okay. Second question for this, and then we're going to finish with overrated, underrated. If you could go back and train your 20-year-old self, what would you have them do differently?
Okay. Yeah. At 20 years old, when I was training, I hadn't quite got into like actually doing personal training yet. That came towards like 23, 24. So a lot of it was just baseball training. If I was training them or training myself differently, it would probably be, it wouldn't even be training, but it would be nutrition. Like, I would just go home to mom's house at that point in time, staying with her, and we'd have lasagna, and we'd eat, you know, I mean, it'd be anything and everything, snacks. Like, she's the queen of Costco at this point, dude. Like, we'd have all the snacks, and I would, dude, she had every snack. You could ask all my friends, especially high school growing up, they'd all come over to our house. My mom loved that because she's like, yeah, I don't want you guys going anywhere. Come over here. Yeah. And we'd have every snack known to mankind. We'd be up playing video games, having snacks, having a great time. It was awesome.
Every friend had that friend with that house. When you said that, and I was like, I was Ken Knutson.
Yeah, dude, like, there you go.
Name popped right in my head. I was like, I remember that.
You know, everyone has it, and like that was our house, and she loved that. She thrived on it. She wanted that, but also like we just had every snack known to mankind. Yeah. So, dude, it was tough keeping weight at a decent rate. Like you're practicing nonstop, but you know you can always overeat. So diet and nutrition would have been the thing I could go back and, you know, have myself change, because training wise, like it was all programmed for us, you know, like when you're an athlete, you know, you have everything set out to a T, you know what you're doing. And it was good training. Honestly, it got us really, really strong. Yeah. So I wouldn't change the actual training aspect of it at all. Aside from maybe in the summer times, I'd go on these diets just purely because I was like, you know, you show up, they'd have a thing, at least for baseball, they call it the fat camp. And they always say PHAT, you know, but basically if you were over, let's say like 13% body fat, you were running 5 miles after practice every like third day. And it was very much like, all right, get moving, everyone on the fat pack, go. And we're like, oh, I'm on the list.
That is so funny.
Yeah.
You cannot do that today.
Not even close. Definitely not. I mean, not out loud, that's for sure.
That's like that movie. It's not called Fat Camp, but we all thought
Heavyweights
with Ben Stiller. Yeah.
So I went on this diet where it was like so low carb. I found it in a Muscle and Fitness. I can't remember the name of it, but it was literally just like how to become like the 300 Spartan warrior diet.
Dude, I think I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah.
It was when Gerard Butler's movie came out. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, I followed a couple diets out of the Men's Health magazine. I followed
worked.
Jay Cutler's diet one time, and I was like, I think this is way too much protein.
Yeah, it definitely worked. I lost like 10 pounds that summer, and I came in, and guess who was not on Fat Pack for the second year of baseball? Let's go. Yeah, I know.
I'd be like, Coach, can I just run 1 mile after every practice? 5 miles every third? Come on, man. Like, shit.
Yeah, so less training, more nutrition for me in terms of that.
That's good. If I could train my 20-year-old self different, to be honest with you, I'm actually in the same boat. I don't think it would be training. I got really lucky. So if we were to say, so I graduated high school at 17 years old, and that summer it was like, you know, we all party, and then a bunch of friends went off to play college ball, and most of them moved out of state or out of the city and stuff like that. And then I was kind of left with just a couple people, and I was like, damn, this sucks. Like, I'm not going to go play soccer like I wanted to, because I was basically, I struggled with my weight all throughout high school, but I had 2 different injuries to my knee. And it's like, damn, I don't know what to do now, because I had surgery, and then it was like I graduated and I'm heavy, you know? So I was like, I'm going to start working out. And I did the wrong stuff at first for sure, but it worked. Like I tried a bunch of fad diets, crash diets, and then eventually I started doing a better approach, which was really just trying to eat healthy, to be honest with you, and it created a calorie deficit. I'm going to stop drinking Mountain Dew and start drinking Diet Coke, like little stuff like that. Fat-free milk instead of 2% in my cereal, because I was 17, turning 18 that summer. And but I lost a bunch of weight, and I was doing like a lot of random circuit training stuff, and then stuff I'd find on T Nation or bodybuilding.com.
Yep.
But I ended up getting an internship when I was 19 with Luca. I basically was very blessed in that sense because I go from doing whatever I can find in a magazine to training with an elite strength coach, and the whole training crew of guys that would lift at night with us, they were all, I think the youngest one at the time was like probably my age now, 33 to 35. I think Luca was 35 at the time, and I'm 19. So I'm like this runt training with the big dogs, and that worked really well. And it was smart training. So like, but I didn't track macros at all. I remember like going home after a training session, because we'd train late. I'd get home between like 10:30 and 11:30, and go home and I'd like first start with just like a big ass bowl of like quote unquote healthy granola. Yeah. God knows how many calories that was, but I didn't prioritize protein like I wanted to. There was no like consideration of fats. So if I could go back, I probably would focus on diet more, and I would have prioritized macros earlier to get enough protein, all that. And then I would have not tried to stay so lean. Yeah. Because once I did a show, my first show when I was like 21, and then I started like trying to stay really lean for a while. And I think I could have built more muscle if I would have been like, okay, I'm going to eat and I'm going to lift because I'm 22 years old. Right. And I didn't, which is normal. Like you get abs and you're like, I'm never getting rid of these. It's like, hey, like they'll come back. Yeah. But yeah, definitely nutrition. I think that's a common thing for younger guys, you know? Mm-hmm. Okay. Overrated, underrated. Do you have time still? Cause I know you gotta. Yeah. I got. Okay. You guys got the game tonight, right? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I didn't know if you had to. I got time. No, we're good. Overrated, underrated. So we're going to try to choose one if there's a couple, and we got, 5 topics: diet, training, social media, music, and then just anything random you want to throw out there. Mm-hmm. So first one, diet. Choose one overrated, one underrated. Okay. So if I'm talking about diet and we're going, let's start with, let's see here. Okay. We're going underrated. And this is more of like I don't know. I found it super, super helpful for me because one thing that people, just have a tough time with seems to be meal prep and just like getting everything prepared in general. And it takes forever for some people, which I never understood, but I get it, to a certain extent. My underrated for nutrition is actually an Instant Pot. Oh yeah, those are clutch. Dude, okay. If you don't have an Instant Pot or let's say a slow cooker or something along those lines, it was a game changer for me immediately. Whether it's your protein, whether it's potatoes, rice, like there's so many things. Like to me, it was the potatoes because on a fat loss phase, I wasn't having very much rice. Yeah. If I was feeling really sad because it was just a tiny little amount. Yeah. It's not fun. Yeah. So I would always go to potato because I'm like, all right. That's like one of my first moves when I go into a deficit. I haven't done it yet because I didn't have to pull too many calories, but like, yeah, bring the potatoes in. Yeah. The potatoes were there. So Instant Pot, hey, we're not sponsored by Instant Pot, but I love my Instant Pot. That thing gets used every single week. I just hope it never dies on me. Dude, for the longest time, like Shannon, not that long ago, was like, why don't you cook like your beef and all that other stuff in this too? And I was like, why would I cook it in a rice cooker? She's like, this is an Instant Pot. And I was like, oh shit, I only used it for rice. I thought it was a rice cooker, but nope. And then I found out you can do a lot in that thing. You can do so much. Yeah. Okay, so that's underrated. What's overrated? Overrated. Okay, this is going to be more, we'll just say variety in your diet for a fat loss phase. This one is a huge one for me because there's so many times where you might say you want variety, but in reality, when you look at your diet already, there's not that much variety to it. There might be variety in like your dinner or a snack here and there. But you wake up and if you're not following a plan, oh, I'm running through Starbucks, I'm getting a coffee and I'm getting a bagel. Oh, on another day, I'm getting a coffee and I'm getting a spinach wrap. Yeah. Lunch is always these two same places. There's Jersey Mike's and there's this. Like you're probably eating pretty similar foods. Yeah. Maybe like 2 to 3 choices. They're just not the choices that are going to help you on your fat loss journey. Yeah. And variety does make it way harder. Yeah. To track, to prep, to think of like, and you can have variety. Like I always tell people too, like, okay, how many servings of fruit are you having a day? 2 or 3. Okay, cool. So have strawberries and banana and oranges. That's variety. And then after a week, change the strawberries for blackberries and then for raspberries and then for blueberries, but just keep them berries because it makes your life way easier. You don't have to change the whole recipe or the macros or anything because it's almost the same outside of blueberries maybe, but 100 grams It's almost the same for all those. It's very close. So like, I agree 100%. I think that's one that just, I think bites people in the ass.
I mean, sometimes I sit there and I'm like, well, variety's great. You say that now, but you know what feels really great is also seeing consistent progress.
Nothing feels better than that. And also, too, I think that people think they want variety. Really what you want is you don't want to be limited or restricted.
Yeah.
So you don't, if we say don't have variety and you interpret that as I can't have the things I want to have, that throws up a red flag. And I understand that's a psychological barrier though. Yeah. Most of the time, if you lead a client to like choose to eat the same things and then show them how to be flexible so they can enjoy a dinner out with their wife or their husband or whatever, now all of a sudden it's like, oh, I don't even need variety. Like I've found that for me personally and for the clients, like to be the best way to go about it. It's like, hey, let's keep minimal variety, like day to day. Like let's have the same breakfast every day. And you can have variety within that breakfast, but keep it the same, standardize it. And then let's build in some flexibility so you can enjoy the weekend and stuff.
Yeah, I think defining variety in that sense is a good idea because I'm not talking necessarily about like what you said. Oh, I have a template. I have a default meal that I can swap certain things in and out. I want egg whites today. I want a turkey sausage. I want this. I want whatever. You can swap those things out. And if that's variety, amazing, wonderful. What I'm talking about is waking up and being like, cool, I just feel like going through Denny's. I just feel like going through and I have a craving for this. I have a craving for that. And this is where I want variety. It's like, no, you just have cravings and urges and you're wanting to splurge right now.
Yeah.
And, you know, maybe you feel pigeonholed by a certain diet instead of like leaning on that flexibility.
This is probably the best tactical thing for people to listen that are struggling with that. Build variety into a daily plan that you can repeat. Because variety that's repetitive means a plan. Because the problem is if somebody wants variety day to day, they want to change every day, it means you can't meal prep. You can't plan ahead, really.
Correct.
That's where you screw yourself.
Yep.
So it's like if you can plan your whole week and you can build in variety throughout the day, but repeat that day throughout the week, you win. And then this weekend you're going grocery shopping, change a couple things, that's fine. But like rinse and repeat. It's so helpful. Yeah, I totally agree with you on that. Okay, so diet for me, man, it's hard not to pick that same thing, dude. Like that's that for the overrated one. Underrated on the diet, I would say, dude, I'm just gonna say bro meals. It's like a random one, but I think like a low fat, high carb diet, it works really well. It's very hard for people to do at first because they don't know how to choose low fat meals. But if you, and this sounds boring, but like if you eat like a bro, it's pretty simple. But honestly, like if you look at like diets that are going to improve gut health, diets that are going to build most muscle, get you lean, most of them lean towards bro meals anyway, because bro meals are going to be meats, potatoes, rice, oats, like whole grains, veggies, fruit, oils for fat. You're done. It keeps you feeling so good, keeps you very lean, makes macros tracking easier. So I think if like to me, that's very underrated because people try so hard to fit in flexible foods. Maybe that's what it is. Flexible dieting is overrated.
Yeah.
I think that's what it is because flexible dieting gets taken too far.
Yes.
You know, you can be flexible diet, don't get me wrong, but it's actually way easier to be flexible on the things you love and enjoy when you eat like a bro, quote unquote, or repeat the same meals throughout the week. I would much rather eat the same thing that makes me feel good and then I don't got to think about it throughout the week. And then I enjoy, and people always, when they see me post stuff on my story, they always say like, how do you enjoy that and stay lean? Because I eat really simple throughout the week. And I don't want wine and pizza and random shit throughout the week. I've got work, I got training, I want to be fueled. And then on the weekend, I want to enjoy something good with my family. And I can because the week was dialed in. It makes it 10 times easier, you know? So I would say overrated for me is flexible dieting. Underrated is, man, you think I would have thought about these before we started this too. I didn't. For diet, underrated is, this is going to be weird, but I'm going to say a greens drink, man.
Really?
Like, it's not necessarily underrated because obviously they're popular, but I think in the fitness space for like really knowledgeable fitness professionals and stuff, they know it's not like, okay, bro, it's a greens drink. Like take a multivitamin and eat some broccoli. You'll be fine. Like 100%, you don't need them. I think it's underrated because it is a very positive habit to start your day with. Talking about atomic habits, when you start with a greens drink, it does, to me, like that's the biggest benefit is the mental side. It just starts my day with choosing a healthy thing. And I feel like that is like a catalyst for the rest of the day. I drank my greens drink this morning. I'm starting on a good foot. You know, I don't know. So I'm going to say greens drink for that reason is underrated.
I like that for that reason, because you're like, initially I'm sitting there like, really? Like a greens drink? Like, don't get me wrong. I've had greens drink before. I'll have it here and there, but it's not something that I'm like, whoa, like underrated. But like the first thing you're doing, you're getting up, going, and you're just having your greens drink. And it's like, it's that first step towards the rest of the day. And you could choose anything. Most people just write for coffee, right? You know, first thing in the morning, and they're like, it's chaos right from the beginning. You know, the kids are screaming, and you got to get to school. You're doing this, but that might be your only time throughout the day where you're like, okay, it's a very mindful, present greens drink. Start the day right.
I have a electrolyte drink, coffee, and greens drink before anybody wakes up. Like that's always, dude, I've been having a greens drink every morning. Literally, I'm not exaggerating, for probably 6 or 7 years now straight. Wow. Every day. That is a supplement I always have in my cabinet, which is hilarious because I know it's not like, if you were like, you can only take one supplement for the rest of your life, I'd be like, shit, it's not that. It's probably creatine, you know, but like I think it's a really positive way to start your day. Cool. So anyway, that's a good one. Training. Overrated and underrated.
All right, training. Let's dive into this. Okay, so let's start off with overrated for training. And this is coming from someone, I've been in personal training for 11 years. People really, really love this topic when they come in, and it's balance training. Okay? Now, balance training in a sense of they think of balance as like, put me on an unstable disc or a BOSU ball, something along those lines, like that is going to improve their balance. That improves nobody's balance anywhere, anytime, any place. Because you're never, what are you, like on the water, like trying to like awkwardly stand up?
Say, if you're training for like Wipeout, the show.
Yeah, right, exactly. That's what
sport specific.
Somehow they're imagining that. To me, it's so overrated when something that's going to improve your balance is going to be more power and reactive training, and almost like just normal, regular, unilateral work, doing split squats, doing lateral lunges, doing all these different movements where you're building strength in those positions. That's how you're going to end up building, you know, that better balance. And a lot of times, I don't know about you guys, but like I'm not purposefully putting myself in a weird balance position. If I lose my balance because you like tripped on the curb when you're trying to step somewhere and now you're catching yourself. So when I put on like, oh, I'd rather work on power and reactive, it's to be able to have the reactions to go, whoop, catch myself.
Yeah.
Right.
Avoid injury.
You know, like how many times are we losing our balance just because I like leaned over on one leg?
Yeah. It's funny because like people would do that shit for like sports specific. But you think about it, it's like, again, like you're not playing basketball during an earthquake. Like, so it's probably, like, if you think of like, okay, where do you need to maintain balance? My day-to-day. Okay, what are you doing day-to-day? That it's not when you're sitting. No. Okay. So it's when you're standing up off a chair, or it's walking up and down the stairs, or it's walking straight, it's jogging. So all of those things are just their unilateral patterns. You know, maybe you do some like RNT work, like put a band on your knee and do a lunge or something. So it's pulling you laterally, maybe something like that. But if you work on mobility in your ankles and you're doing unilateral training, I feel like you're going to get plenty of balance. You know, and then like you said, the rest is just reactive time so that when you do fall, you don't hurt yourself. It's so good, man. So true.
So that would be my overrated. My underrated, surprisingly enough, actually is going to be body weight exercises, specifically for strength. I can't tell you how many times in the gym you see, it doesn't matter if it's, men or women, but tell me how many, you're like, can you pump out 20 push-ups? Can you do 5 to 10 chin-ups or pull-ups?
Good form. With
good form. Right, you can do reverse Nordics. You can do all of these different exercises that are just body weight.
Reverse Nordics are so brutal.
They're tough. They're so challenging, and they're really, really good for you. And they immediately want to go to, let me grab a barbell, load up the weight, and start just throwing weights around. And I'm sitting there going like, you haven't even built up the necessary strength just to do body weight stuff, and even joints. Yeah, you're training body weight. Your joints feel great. Yeah. I always feel better after reverse Nordics. Like my knees feel better. Like you improve range of motion. 9 times out of 10 with the guys, I'm like, at some point in time, we're doing push-ups. Yeah.
They did a study on reverse Nordics or glute ham raise, same thing, recently for athletes to see what was like best for muscle growth, joint support, and tendon ligamency and stuff like that. Nordics outperformed. Yeah. Seated leg curl, lying leg curl, all that, like by a landslide. I've actually been doing a lot more. To your point, there's benefit to loading for muscle growth because you have to overload.
Right.
But like if a guy's doing a bench press and he's trying to load it to build muscle and he's get achy joints, it's like, okay, let's master the push-up and come back to be able to do more chin-ups. I promise your bench is going to go up.
100%.
It sounds weird, but trust me, like you've been in the gym long enough too.
Yep.
You know this, like that's how it works. But I've been doing a lot because my joint health is a priority for me right now. And it is like, you can still create a lot of tension in the muscle to build it, but your joints feel way better and less banged up.
And even in this scenario, I'm not saying to do all body weight.
Yeah.
It's
that's
like,
where people go wrong.
Right. If you're hitting your main movements and you're already doing your dumbbell chest press, you're doing your rows, you're doing whatever it may be, you've gotten, even if you're a power lifter, you're doing your 5x5s, you're doing whatever it is.
Yeah.
What's your accessory work look like?
Yeah.
Are you skipping that because you're like, ooh, just got done with my squat day. Terrible. Let me go ahead and hop on my phone real quick and then look around and leave. Right.
Yeah.
Like, are you doing some extra work that you can add some accessory volume to?
Yeah. Well, and I'm all about aesthetics. Obviously, like I love training for muscle growth and fat loss, but also like if you're super strong and you look great, but you go to do a dip and your shoulder gives out or you don't have the strength to get yourself up, and like that's an issue. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? There's certain levels of functional strength that you should just have to test.
Yep.
Part of why we're doing the combine the way we are.
Yeah.
There isn't a dip test. Just Nick wanted to put it in there and I told him no. So you guys can thank me if you're going to jump in.
Yeah.
Overrated, underrated for me on training. Overrated is functional bodybuilding for sure. And I literally mean it from a sense of, and this sounds mean, and I'm not like a mean person, I'm not going to say names, but from the sense of exactly how you see people do it online. I'm talking about literally the influencers who are pushing functional, but like, yes, calling them out. I'm not going to say names, but those individuals who say functional bodybuilding for muscle growth and strength, even all this stuff. No.
Yeah.
Functional bodybuilding is great for rehab. That style of functional bodybuilding. Functional bodybuilding to me is what we do for performance bodybuilding, which I've been saying that since it was boom, boom. I mean, I've been saying that for years now. It's using less machines, probably because you don't have machines.
Yeah.
It's still being athletic, you know what I mean? But like you can still move well, you can be explosive, but your main goal is hypertrophy, right? But functional bodybuilding is basically like you can't use machines. And it's just, I don't know, it's so dogmatic. And every single position they put themselves in reduces the volume placed on their muscles. Like it's literally like intentionally putting yourself in these weird functional positions and loading up in a weird way that limits how much weight you can lift and how much tension you can apply to the muscle for everything. It's different to say like right now, for example, I'm not doing any heavy overhead pressing. I'm doing half kneeling kettlebell press, landmine press, because I just went through a back injury. If I load up my spine by doing overhead presses, which is actually the thing after I heard it, I went to do, and it made it 10 times worse because I have, I can overhead press 185 pounds for reps. Like I've built that up, but that's a lot of weight to press in a spinal erect position, like that's not okay. So I'm doing those functional bodybuilding exercises because I'm limited there. I'm not trying to build my shoulders, but I'm not doing a half kneeling bottoms up hold while I do a curl to build my biceps. I'm getting on the cable and lifting as heavy as I can for biceps,
Yeah.
So I think it's like, to your point, like you weren't saying all body weight. Like you can't just sweep away everything else. But I just see a lot of people doing this functional stuff. And I would just encourage people, and this goes for hybrid athletes too. I love hybrid training. I think it is the best way to train for longevity. But there's a lot of people who see the hybrid athlete guys and they see the functional bodybuilding guys and they assume that's how you build muscle. No, those guys built muscle from lifting heavy and bodybuilding and powerlifting. And then eventually they were like, I'm going to start doing hybrid because I care about more than just how strong I am and how I look. I want to run far. I want to be functional. I want to live long. So just know that like you got to look at the whole picture. You know what I mean? So that's my overrated for sure. Underrated is, once upon a time I would have said aerobic work because nobody was doing it. Now everybody's doing it. So I can't really say it's underrated.
Yeah.
That was a paradigm shift for me, maybe. I avoided it like the plague because I don't love it. But
Same here, actually.
Dude, you feel so much better when you do it a little bit, So underrated for me, man, for training, that is so hard, actually. You took a good one. I had a lot to say about functional bodybuilding, what was overrated. Underrated, I would say specialty bars.
Oh, yeah.
I think that there's a lot of gyms that don't invest in them. If you're a garage gym owner or if you are a gym owner, invest in specialty bars. like they will keep your client safe.
Mm-hmm.
And like you can lift better and heavier without injury. They're literally designed, basically, specialty bars for those listening. This would be like a neutral bar, a safety bar with like the pads on your shoulders, a bent bar, it's a cambered bar, easy curl bar, a Zercher bar, trap bar, like all these different weird, crazy shaped bars. They're basically designed by guys who got so beat up from powerlifting that they're like, I still want to lift, but I can't lift with a regular barbell. How do I like bend and contort this so I can still lift weights? Mm-hmm. So if the old beat up body or power lifter uses it to prevent injury, like all of us should be using it, you know? So hands down, that's definitely, underrated for sure.
That's a good one.
Okay. We're going to skip the anything one at the end because we kind of threw some in here anyway.
Yeah, totally.
I'll bring that to the other guests that come on the show. The last two are social media and music. So let's start with social media. Underrated, overrated.
Okay. We were talking about this earlier, but in terms of social media, same with kind of like the diet aspect of this, to go along with, say, variety, right? But it's like the fit influencer who is making the 47 ingredient, macro friendly pizza, you know, that you can toss it in the air fryer and it takes you 2 hours to make.
It tastes like cardboard.
Right. Now, some of them might taste okay, but let's be real here. I would rather just have pizza at that point.
Yeah.
Right. We go back to simplicity. If you're on a fat loss phase, I get wanting to have, you know, you're going to have cravings. You're going to have urges. It's good to learn how to sit with those. And at the same time, if you have a planned refeed day, have a slice of pizza.
Yeah.
My guy. I mean, like you're going to scratch that itch a whole lot better than if you spend all this time making this cottage cheese based, you know, turkey pepperoni, perfect little pizza that you're sitting there eating going, I really wish I had a slice of pizza from my favorite pizza spot.
Yeah. And you hit the nail on the head with the sit with the craving. I think that's underrated. People, if you don't do that, you don't learn to control your urges and your temptations. Like that's what self-control is. It is being able to recognize the craving, the urge, and then not give into it. And that's what allows you to really eliminate them long-term. I'll just say this to you for people listening who are like, but I like the cauliflower pizza. What I've seen my wife do, and it actually turns out pretty good. She gets recipes like that, but she ends up getting them from people who are, for example, like they're actually celiac, so they can't have gluten. So this person figured out a way to make pizza with cauliflower and cottage cheese, all these things.
Totally.
They're not concerned about it being high protein and macro friendly. And so if you really want to make a quote unquote healthy version, you're better off finding somebody who's like vegan or lactose intolerant or celiac and they can't have gluten, because those people are less concerned about how many calories and it usually tastes better. It'll still probably be less than a Domino's pizza calories wise, but like my neighbor made a cottage cheese one and I was like, that's weird, but it was because they can't have some of the ingredients. And then Shannon made this version of it and it was really good. Yeah. And I was shocked.
That came down to intention.
Exactly.
You know,
not fat loss.
Right. Exactly. It's completely different, but that made, you know, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
For social media, I would say for underrated is going to be posting specifically your goals or your journey on a regular basis and sharing with, you know, the world, your friends, your family, even, I mean, I know we're talking social media for this one, but like telling people what you are doing and not trying to hide from it and watch them literally support you like crazy. I can't tell, no one is out there looking for people to fail. Anytime I see someone post like from my friend group or people I grew up with, if they're trying to do something and they put it out into the world, it doesn't matter if I agree with it or not, like fitness wise and nutrition wise, whatever. I'm hyping them up. So I'm like, look at you. You're trying to better yourself and you're actually brave enough to post about it. People are going to come out of the woodwork to support you. I'm going to be your cheerleader, even if I haven't talked to you in 10 years. It's scary to do that. But the people who do that, there's that extra level of like, oh man,
accountability.
That's tough to do, man. It really is. But when you do it on a regular basis, wow. I mean, it's a game changer.
Yeah, that's good. It's so helpful. Underrated for social media for me is, I would say, this sounds funny, but I mean, there's a couple ways to do this. At first I was going to say unfollowing people is underrated.
100%.
But I think really just limiting social media, because that's really what, like, people don't audit their environments enough. And I think that one of the things that's really underrated with social media would be to go in and unfollow people who don't serve you. I even unfollowed, like I went back and I was like, I follow some rappers that I'm just like, I don't want to see somebody like glorify and praise money and women the way they do. And I'm like, look, I know it's the rap world. I grew up listening to rap and at one point almost like idolizing what rap was and who some of these people were, shamefully. But now I say this shamefully, but like, that's not where I'm at in my life. So I'm like, I'm just going to unfollow it. You know what I mean? And there's also people that like, man, I can't be myself because I'm worried about so-and-so seeing them. Okay, well, are they like your close sibling or something? No, okay, unfollow them. Like, just get rid of it. And then to that same point is like, just this weekend, don't open the app. You know, like I do that on Saturdays sometimes where I'm like, I'm just not going to open it at all. And it's like, wow, that's a brush right there. You know, and like, don't get me wrong, I still have it. I've never deleted it because I'm going to use it. It's for business and I'm helping people. But also like you need a break, you know, sometimes. So it's, I think just auditing that whole thing, I think is very underrated. Overrated would be, man, I'm going to say this because selfishly I want things to be differently, but just like stupid, funny, short form videos. There's nothing I can do to like crush that trend. Yeah. And don't get me wrong, me and Shannon get sucked into some of these funny videos sometimes and we're just watching them and laughing. So I don't really want them to go away, but I'm also like, man, I really wish that, because I think the short form stuff is overrated to the point where it was like 90 seconds. It was, remember IGTV was like 5 minutes and then it went to 3 and then it went to 90 seconds and it still is there. But now it's like, if you don't have a video that's less than 30 seconds, sorry, and you have to capture somebody's attention within 3 seconds. What on earth can I do besides like rip my shirt off at the beginning of a clip? You know what I mean? Like how? That is so crazy. So to me, I think that part is just overrated. People's attention span. That's also why I like YouTube. Like my first vlog is 30 minutes long. You know, my second one's probably gonna be longer because I took it with me to Cali when I went and saw my client compete. But like, it's just, I think, I mean, I could even say that too. Long form social media content is underrated. Short form is overrated.
Totally.
You know, music. This will be interesting. Underrated, overrated.
See, this is where...
That was a paradigm shift for me.
Yeah. Okay.
Dude, Theo responded to my story the other day and he was like, he said, that album's fire. And it was Morgan Wallen. And I was like, bro, I never thought you would ever say this to me. And then I was like, also, I never thought I would be listening to country because I hated country. But that's...
Okay. All right. Music-wise, this is tough. And I explained this to you guys when we went on our first meetup. This was at Vegas for High Rocks. Being in a gym for 10, 11 years, music has a way of like not being music anymore. Yeah. You hear so many types of music that the ones that I lean towards now, if I'm going to listen to music, slow. I'm thinking like 90s country. And I don't even know the artist's name because I'm just typing into Spotify and I'm thinking this is like twangy 90s. It's the classic, you know, I'm thinking Shania Twain, Garth Brooks, like those ones popped up to me that are very underrated for me because I never grew up listening to country. It was Eminem. Yeah. It was Linkin Park. It was those kind of types of music.
Limp Bizkit?
Yeah, Limp Bizkit. All the things
I'll never let my daughter listen to.
100%, right? The ones that my dad, my mom would, every time I wanted Eminem on there, they're like, absolutely not. Yeah. There is no chance. He was like the devil, you know, especially in the early 2000s.
So
like, there's no chance. So good. So we'd always ride with, you know, some other parent to the game and like maybe dad would play there, you know. Yep. So that would definitely be one that's like an underrated. And then overrated for me is definitely... I mean, I don't even listen to it really anymore, but like I'm thinking mumble rap.
Oh God, I hate it.
It gets so popular.
I've never liked it.
It was always popular. Like this is earlier on, you know, before being in a relationship.
Like right when Offset came out, or not Offset. Oh, no. He was in the group Migos.
Yes. And I understand it. It's great. It's fine. People really like love that. And it'd be played at clubs all the time or bars. And that was when the environment I was going out because I was single and it's just going out and all this stuff. Yeah. But every time mumble rap came, dude, I couldn't. I'm like, I felt like an old man because I'm like, am I like just grumpy and annoyed because everything on being played is like, I was like,
I never, I agree. That is definitely overrated. I've never liked it because when I grew up listening to like punk and like hardcore. Oh yeah. And then I started listening to rap. But when I started listening to rap, it was like, my first album I ever got, I bought two at the same time. I bought Nas, Illmatic, and Jay-Z, Reasonable Doubt. Two of the greatest hip-hop albums of all time. And then I went on this like wave of everything I listened to was like poetic. You know, it's like I was listening to old Biggie and then like Outkast and Andre 3000, even Kanye back in the day, you know, and then Jay-Z early on. And it was just different.
Yeah.
You know, it was about what you say and how you say it, like the lyrics. And now everything is like, it's just one. I mean, the words, some like the profanity, and that now I feel like a really old man. But like, it is to the point where I'm like, God, I don't even want to listen to this. This is insane. But it is. It's just you can't understand anything to say.
No.
You know, so true. So I'm gonna say, overrated for me is techno. Like any kind of techno to me is just very overrated. It either gives me anxiety or I just need more substance to it.
Yeah.
Because I just picture like, and look, like this is not me throwing shade. If you like going to raves, if you like listening to techno, do your thing. But like, if I don't hear, like I like lyrics because it tells a story. I like the pain in somebody's voice or the passion in somebody's voice because it's an artist. But like techno is just like electronic noises to me. And so there's just nothing behind it. There's no meaning, you know? It's like a brand. Like I won't even involve myself or like really invest into a brand if there isn't a meaning. I can be like, that's a really cool looking shirt and stuff, but I love a brand. So for me, overrated for sure is techno. Underrated is, man, I would have said Christian music a while ago, but it's kind of blowing up now because of a few people. Oh. And like Brandon Lake came out with a song with Jelly Roll, and now his stuff is just going crazy. He's like on the Billboard. Frank Forrest has been on the Billboard every time, which is great because my daughter can hear good music in the background. Like I grew up and the only thing in the background was like Nirvana and which I loved, and I still love that those bands. But yeah, it's really popular. But I would say I'm still gonna say it's underrated because when I first started like exploring my faith, I remember a mentor saying, trying to challenge me to like a year of nothing but Christian and worship music. And I laughed at him. I was like, bro, there's no way. I love music. There's no way. There's no way I can do that. And I didn't. I'm going to be honest. But I did it for a period of time. I didn't do it for a full year.
Yeah.
I didn't listen to any rap for over a year, like any non-Christian rap. So no Lil Wayne, no Drake, nothing. And I didn't even do it on purpose. It just kind of went away, but I still listened to like metal and some like sounds kind of demonic. You know, I was playing Slipknot in the gym the other day, but Christian music, I was surprised at how many good Christian rappers there are that you wouldn't even realize they're Christian. Same with some, not as much rock, but like some like country style rock. And then, but a lot of rappers, I'm like shocked at how many rappers there are that are actually really dope.
Yeah.
I mean, Lecrae came out with a song with E40 the other day. Like, so it's like, it's blending, dude. It's pretty crazy, but I'm going to say that's underrated because I think it's cool too. Cause like being able to listen to rap and not having to like worry about what my daughter's hearing when she's in my truck or something is actually like a comforting feeling. Yeah. You know? But I always think about like if I'm driving down the street in my neighborhood and I'm blasting that, the windows down, and there's like the old guy, like, oh, these hooligans, and he has no idea. He's like, it's like preaching, but like I'm this tattooed guy and he's probably like, these fuckers like coming down the road. Yeah, but I would say that, and I'm very confident about the overrated though. I can't stand techno.
No, 100%. I'm thinking back to like, I'm like, if you want to add another underrated on there in terms of music, I used to do this and I got to get back to it now. This is reminding me, but almost like starting your day off with a similar song. I think for at least 3 months straight. I can't remember when the song came out, but or if the song is just called Good Day, but it's like, I'm gonna have a good day.
That's Forrest Frank.
Okay, there you go. Forrest Frank. I didn't even know the name. I just know the lyrics.
And that's a Christian artist.
There you go.
But people wouldn't know it.
No. And I started my day for like at least 3 months straight, listening just to that song, just like you would have your greens drink, and it puts you in that mood of like, man, it is going to be a good day, or I'm starting on a good path. Yeah,
every day on the way to school, my wife would, and then when I would drive Blakely to school, I would do it like once a week. It's summer right now. Same thing. We listen to that song.
Crazy.
And she'd be in a bad mood some days, and we'd be like, we're playing it. I don't want to listen to the song. It's like, too bad.
That's an underrated for me.
Yeah, that's 100% true. I actually listened to Bigger Than Me by Big Sean, which seems a little bit different, but it's talking about how his mission it's bigger than just him. You know, he's talking about his city and like trying to do it for Detroit and all this kind of stuff and lifting them up. But if you just listen to the lyric and you apply it to whatever mission you're chasing, I was like, that was the song for me. And I would listen to it every day on the way to the office. Yeah. It's good. All right, we're gonna wrap it up there. That's an hour and a half.
Dang.
Hell yeah, that flew by. we're not going to do an hour and a half to close out every podcast. But if you had any favorites that we discussed that you would like future guests on the podcast to answer every single time, just shoot us a message. You can also just go to choose-hard or choosehardpodcast.com. They both go to the same place. There's a Q&A/inquiry form. You can leave it there. Tell us which ones you like best. Leave us a question for the show, anything like that. And that's the best way to do it. But if you've came this far, that means you like the show. And if you like the show, I hope you're subscribed. If you're not subscribed, what are you doing here? Come on. Just subscribe and leave us a review. Do the thing. Share it with a friend. We want to get this out there. We appreciate you listening. We'll catch you next time.